Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So I mentioned this tweet from CryptoCon yesterday. I just want to give you guys an update on this. This was a tweet regarding CryptoCon saying that he was selling all of his Bitcoin and all of his altcoins, and that he feels like the data has grown exhausted, and that he gives the price here of where he did sell out his cryptocurrencies at. Now, I was thinking, I've been following this account for a while, and he's got some pretty decent TA, technical analysis. He also followed this up in this tweet thread by adding the times that he purchased cryptocurrency back in November of 2022, and his exit plan in 2021, which all kind of checked out until I saw this, not telling, bringing us the truth. Looks like there's a coordinated effort to get you all to sell your crypto, with a bunch of crypto influencers posting the exact same message that they sold all their crypto. So here is it's just a scroll of a bunch of crypto influencers, apparently. There's CryptoCon there. And if I just play that, you guys can see Barzathian is another one of them there. Jaws is another one there. And it's basically all the same tweet. Pravigin.eth yesterday made the decision to sell all my Bitcoin and altcoins, and they're all the same price. So this is a copy and paste, I guess a copy and paste tweet here, where all these, so-called influencers are coordinating to, to get retail to dump. I wish I had looked into this further. This was the first thing that I saw, and I saw a couple of other people commenting on it that I do trust in the space. So, chances are these people have not sold out of their crypto. Exactly what I thought, too. When I mentioned this tweet in yesterday's video, and if you guys didn't catch yesterday's video, I'll link it up here. I said, I disagree with this. I still think we're in for the euphoric phase coming in Q4, and the blockchain backer commenting on the same. The coming weeks will be very telling if the Russell 2000 escapes. It would suggest that it would be far more favorable for altcoins than Bitcoin. So this is the blockchain backer's chart here, and he was analyzing total 3 market caps. So altcoins compared to the Russell, and I just want to bring up the Russell 2000 here for a second. Let me just bring that up. IWM is the Russell chart, and this was the former high that the Russell did make. So I just want to show you guys that, the former high, pinpointing that high from November 2021, as you guys can see. So interesting data there. And if you guys notice here, we are about, so from that recent high before we retraced, it is down about 3%, 3.23%. Now, if you compare that to the total 3 crypto market here, you guys can see this was this was the most recent high. It is actually a bit higher than that former high from back in November of 2021. But if you guys see here, the high before that retraced, which was in and around here, is in and around 3.6%. So guys, a lot of similarities there for the Russell 2000 and the total 3 charts. We've also got Stock Money Lizards commenting bounce area, a bit corrected, but in general, the setup stays the same. We have entered a high demand area. And so don't get fooled by September boredom. Q4 is always where the action takes place. So bouncing down, of course, we are seeing this retracement, and I've been getting people I guess prepared, maybe. I don't know if prepared is the right word or the wrong word. Bitcoin has been going down throughout the latter half of August. And guys, we could in fact see this continue until the end of September before we see that upswing. And I've said before that even if Bitcoin does go down to 100,000 or in and around $100,000, 98,000, that would be where it did wick down back in late June. That is still technically acceptable if we do compare this trend to former trends. That would only be down 21% in the past. In September, we've seen Bitcoin go down even more than that. I talked about this on the Patreon live Q&A session that we had yesterday. And by the way, for Patreon subscribers, that is still available for you guys. Just log into your Patreon. You can watch the replay there. And for anybody else who is not subscribed to the Patreon, if you want to tap my brain on a more detailed approach on how I'm taking a look at this market, because we've got all kinds of factors flying at us. You can find all that at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. It is only $5 a month. I've rolled back prices for a limited time, but you got to subscribe and stay subscribed to lock into that subscription price. So Bitcoin in September, guys, has generally seen declines, but it is now looking like we are getting into an area where that could essentially set us up for a nice big boom to the upside. in the coming months. And you know, when Litecoin is trashing XRP, something special is in the air. Egret Crypto posting this, and you wonder why I'm so bullish. Litecoin, oh, Litecoin. It's like the dog's breakfast of crypto. Fun fact, posts the Litecoin official Twitter X account. A comet smells like rotten eggs, urine, burning matches, and almonds. Most scientists say the closest comparison to this phenomenon on Earth is the idea that tokens called XRP would be sold off to retail investors with the illusion that a digital bank drive-up tube is worth more than the money it transferred back and forth because there are so many tokens in existence and everyone will want one because the banking systems of the world have been quietly making deals for over a decade to make XRP the replacement for SWIFT, and the president is sleeping with Brad Garlic Mouse. The comments down here are pretty funny. Was about to buy some Litecoin. Thanks for changing my mind. As of today, you're being unfollowed, and the remainder of my Litecoin will be swiped for XRP. This is just ridiculous, but, it does show, though, that XRP is, in fact, a contender, that it is a threat for a lot of these other altcoins. It is number 3. I mean, if you discount Tether, XRP is the number 3 cryptocurrency in the entire space with a market cap of about $167.8 billion. And as you guys can see, even compared to Tether, it's actually quite close to Tether's market cap. So we tend to see these two flip quite frequently. We haven't seen too much change in the space either. Market cap is up a little bit, but fear and greed staying relatively flat. Altcoin season, we haven't seen any kind of real movement for that. And, it looks like all altcoins are either in the green or in the red. But just by single digits, if that. Overall, though, guys, we should not be worried. The macro trend always wins. This courtesy of Chad Steingraber here. So take a look at that macro trend. This is the total crypto market cap from 2017 to 2025. Essentially, we are continuing to move up. It looks as though we are moving up. And, if we take a look at just crypto as a whole over the long term here, let me throw that on the weekly. I think you guys get the gist here. We are essentially in a forming a trend here. I mean, where you want to put this trend line is kind of up to you, but generally speaking, higher highs, higher lows over the long term. That is essentially what crypto has been doing for the better part of a decade. And guys, it is not going to stop, I don't think. We did see new all-time highs back in mid-August, and I do think we are prepped to see some more. Now, the big question is, can XRP hold support at $2.76? Let's bring up the XRP chart real quickly here. Actually, I'm going to bring it up on Bitstamp because Coinbase, I really dislike the fact that Coinbase is the first one that comes up here. XRP, okay, let's take a look at XRP right now. I've got this on the weekly. Let me throw that on the hourly. You guys can see XRP has been fighting up against former support here. Okay, when we wick down back and around here in early August, this is where XRP found its support. It did bounce back, and it did actually come back up at that time to the 0.702 before retracing back down. And guys, now it's coming back down there again. We've got some work to do, but at the end of the day, XRP right now trading at $2.81. This is essentially, where we saw a localized high from last December. Here, let me throw that on the daily. And you guys can see back on, where was it here? Yeah, it was up and around here where XRP did wick up, come back down. If I throw that on the 4-hour, you might be able to see that a little better there. That would have been right in and around here. So late last year, XRP is now finding that top again, and hopefully we can build support on that top from back in early December, build that support and continue moving to higher highs. So guys, we're getting close. The narrative needs to change too, and it is changing before our eyes. Crypto Insight UK posting this. The narrative before rate cuts will trigger the bull market, but then the narrative when we got rate cut confirmation, there must be structural problems, inflation. I'm panicking about why they're cutting rates. The narrative right now, September is historically a bad month for price action in crypto. So again, just to that fact that generally what we see is negative price action in crypto in September, especially during the last year of a 4-year cycle. And, this just goes back to what Jungle Inc. was saying the other day. I talked about this tweet the other day. Every major crash was preceded by a Fed pivot. So with regards to rate cuts, Jungle Inc. saying 1929 to 1930. If you guys didn't catch that, I'm sorry if I'm going over this again with you guys and you already know about this, but I think it's very important, so much so that I'm willing to comment on it again in this video. 1929 to 1930, Fed eased after the crash crash, and then we saw the Great Depression deepen within 12 months. 1980, the Volcker cut, inflation came roaring back. Then the brutal 1981 to 1982 recession. Then we have 1989. Fed pivoted, savings and loan crisis plus the recession within 18 months. Then in 2000, the Fed paused, then cut in 2001, and then we had the dot-com bubble burst and recession. Then in 2006, the Fed stopped hiking, cracks in 2007, and then the collapse in 2008, and that was 2006, excuse me. Every time the pivot looked like relief, every time it marked the countdown to crisis. And so Jungle Inc. did also follow up with this. Most Fed pivots equals trouble ahead historically. The Fed rarely pivots just because things are good. They pivot because something is breaking in the economy or financial system. That's why so many pivots have occurred. And then he lists them again. And guys, these were all followed by recessions or crises within 6 to 24 months. Cases where the pivot didn't spark a major crisis. So the mid-90s soft landing, Fed hiked aggressively into 1994. Then they paused and started cutting in 1995. And the outcome, growth slowed, but no deep recession. And the economy reaccelerated into the late 90s boom. This is a super classic successful pivot. 2018, 2019 pause and cuts. Fed had hiked rates steadily through 2018, then pivoted in early 2019. Market stabilized, economy looked fine. But then the beer flu hit. And when that hit, the rest was history. Mid-80s pivot after a brutal 1981 and 1982 recession, the Fed cut rates. The economy entered a long expansion through most of the 80s. So some good information here, I think. But what we are to expect if the Fed does cut rates, a boom right away, money flowing into the market, but then we must be prepared because if we don't see the real world utility, we should be cashing out of our crypto positions. And again, guys, for more information, if you don't want to round trip your crypto, if you want to try to pinpoint that market high, that's exactly what I'm doing over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I've got the link up on the screen. It is right now only $5 a month if you want to subscribe. Check it out if that is something you are interested in. All right, so thanks to Jungle Inc., to Crypto Insight UK, Ali Charts, of course, Chad Steingraber, not so much Litecoin, but Egg Red Crypto for reposting that. Stock Money Lizards, Blockchain Backer, Not Telling, and CryptoCon for the first tweet there. This is another signal, I think, that we should be paying attention to from Otavio. Foreign central banks now officially hold more gold than U.S. Treasuries for the first time since 1996. He says, let that sink in. If you think this buying streak is ending, just look at what happened in the 70s. This is likely the beginning of one of the most significant global rebalancings we've ever seen in history. So just to the point of Jungle Inc.'s original tweet here with regards to if we do see a pivot and if we do see a crisis, a rebalancing could occur from that. And so this is gold holdings, okay, as a percentage of foreign reserves versus U.S. Treasury holdings. And generally speaking, what happens in times of crisis, or if institutions and central banks believes a crisis is upon us, what they do is they're stockpiling gold and precious metals, other kind of hard assets. So this is maybe another signal that we could in fact see a flush out. So then just to counterbalance that, it is also interesting to note that whales have bought 340 million XRP in the last 2 weeks. So they're taking this opportunity still, guys. And so I think they know that we still have room to move up. Remember, from the high that we saw just over a month ago, XRP is now trading at a 23% discount. So if whales are buying up, I think there's a reason for that. I don't think it's a coincidence. I do think they are preparing for another high. How high is XRP going to go? Well, XRP derivatives volume just jumped another 30% as well. This courtesy of XRP Crypto Wolf. On August 30th, the XRP derivatives data from CoinGlass showed strong activity in the market. Trading volume surged 30.36% to about $9 billion, while open interest rose 3%, just over 3%, to $7.99 billion, indicating growing participation. And so you guys can see that if I punch in there, that is the source from CoinGlass there. So on the options side, the volume dipped by 1.54% to about 3.74 thousand, but option open interest did climb 20.5% roughly. Guys, XRP, even though the price is in trouble, or it looks like it's in trouble right now, more open interest is there, denoting that volume is jumping. Derivatives products are still popular. We have the whales obviously purchasing lots of XRP in the moment. And we even have now Stuart Alderati commenting on the direction of the SEC. He did one of these crypto in 1 minute segments. Check this out.
I feel good. I condensed 6 years of my life into 60 seconds. Hi, this is Stu Alderati, and this is Crypto in a Minute. So why did the SEC drop its appeal against Ripple? I think the real question is, why did they bring the case at all? The SEC has not only dropped its appeal against Ripple, they've now dropped every case against every crypto company in the United States. Why? Because the SEC has now admitted what we've always been saying, that you can't bring enforcement actions for violating the law without first explaining what the law is, and we never had clear laws, rules, and regulations regarding crypto in this country. So we're going to clean up the mess, we're going to get out of the courtroom, we're going to get back to running business, and we're going to now press forward, working with Congress to get smart crypto regulation in place that protects consumers, that protects the integrity of the market, that keeps bad actors out, and most importantly, allows the innovation to flourish.
So basically what he's saying, now it's time to get that show on the road. And, it has been starting up. The question is, how fast can this ramp up, and how fast can we potentially see that real world utility, and if that's going to change our price predictions moving forward. Luckily, we do have Ripple partners like dLocal continuing to partner up with other companies like Kling. Guys, they're looking to power digital subscription growth with cutting edge local payment solutions in emerging markets. So dLocal, which is of course a Ripple partner, if you guys don't remember, back in, they're one of the older ones. Back in 2017, they were one of more than 100 at the time Ripple partners, one of the original ones. At that time, some of the newest members of Ripple Network Airwallex, Bex Banco, Crédit Agricole, Curalex, Currencies Direct, dLocal is mentioned there, IFX, Krungsri Bank, Rack Bank, and TransferGo. So dLocal has been a longtime partner, guys. Now they're partnering up with Kling, an SaaS platform specializing in subscriber retention management. And this collaboration will enable Brazilian subscription services and digital content providers to offer local payments, such as the Pix payment through their orchestrated capabilities of Primer, ensuring smooth subscription billing and improved customer experiences. And if I'm not mistaken, Ripple does also have a partnership with Pix. Brazil's digital subscription sector is rapidly expanding, powered by some of the highest internet penetration in Latin America. Guys, over 86% of the population is connected. The broader digital transformation market, which includes these services, is projected to reach about $75.8 billion by the year 2030, underscoring strong demand for digital and recurring offerings. So this is great news here coming from Ripple partner dLocal. The more we see these types of partnerships, the more I think it seems like this is becoming a reality. And, even if, it seems like it's in such a far away land, if it's not in the country you're living in, sometimes it feels like it's somewhat disconnected. But guys, here's a surprise from the Ripple website. Phil Kwok just posted this, how Ripple Payments works. And Ripple did actually just put a demo on their website. Send money across the world any day of the week, any hour of the night. And so I'm just going to play this for you guys. You guys can see some... it's just a demo here. Individual, basically getting your payment out to myself. And you can send a payment here, select the UK beneficiary. You can send it in RLUSD stablecoin, and it can come out the other end in GBP, Great British Pounds. And this is basically for subscribers to the Ripple website. You can see transaction payment, quarter one, and you can review your payment there. Sending amount, and basically you can send it right away with Ripple Payments. And guys, this is essentially how this payment platform is going to work. And this is just one example from Ripple's website. Guys, think of all the partnerships from many, many years ago, not to mention all the banks that are also onboarding RippleNet. If you can send money as easily as this, think of how that integration is eventually going to ramp up XRP adoption. Once we do have clear rules of the road, that's just my opinion. And if you guys want to hear more opinions on how I'm treating this bull run, because now we're getting closer to the end of a 4-year cycle, what are the chances we are going to see real world utility really kind of creep up to help propel XRP to triple, quadruple, maybe 5 digits? Follow me at patreon.com/Working Money Channel for more information on that. I also just wanted to mention that the Working Money Channel merch store is up and running. Check it out if you guys are interested in purchasing some Working Money Channel merch. Link is in the description of the video. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.